is Danielle Braga, and I am a senior Girl Scout from Irvine Troop 1442. I decided to do my Girl Scout Gold Award on Youth Emergency Preparedness because I feel that schools today do not adequately prepare children for disasters. So I chose to do 3 Orange County family-friendly workshops that educate the community with presenters from emergency organizations throughout Southern California.
And some of the main things you want to do are make sure you have enough water and enough food for yourself and everyone in your family for a period of 3 days. It's best to go even longer than 3 days, but if you don't have an emergency kit at this point, start with minimal 3 days and you can build onto it. And there are other items that you want in your emergency kit. In addition to having one at home, it's best to have one at the office as well as in your car. And for great instructions on how to build an emergency kit, you can go to radiocc.org. There's some pens on the back table with the radiocc.org logo on them. So if you can go to that website, it'll tell you everything you need to know about creating an emergency kit for those different instances, those different locations. And it also tells you about building a family plan. There are lots of disasters that may affect Orange County, and the best thing that we can do is prepare for them. There's approximately 80% of Orange County residents say that they don't feel that they are prepared, which means they're not taking the steps, such as going to workshops like you are today and building a kit like you will all do if you've not already done so after today or tomorrow, maybe your project. And the best way that we can determine what our lives will be like after a disaster is to prepare for it beforehand.
Through this experience, LA City Fire developed a system called CERT. CERT operates on the premise of doing the greatest good for the greatest amount of people. We think that's probably the biggest thing, as our Chief of Police, Dave Maggart, would allude to, is the community, how they come together and they have meetings like this to inform residents. We have such great turnouts. What is a CERT program? It's a program to protect yourself, your neighbors, and your family. So it works on that, and the biggest thing in this type of organization is to see what's happening throughout the whole organization before you do anything. You need to know where, when, and how to shut off the utilities. So Danielle was asked me earlier if I would bring a gas meter. You need to consider what you need in your home. And you need to practice a plan. I heard you say that, practice and plan, and put all your emergency numbers by the phone. So if there's a major disaster, feel comfortable to stay at school. Mom and Dad will come soon, and you mom and dads who are here from the school side, you need to put the names on the emergency card who you want to have your children turned over to. So we have to be prepared. That's why that's why Danielle's having this today, is making sure that you folks are all well prepared so you can prepare and be one of the ones that can take care of yourself.
The biggest rule is you want to be prepared. Plan for a disaster with your best friend, okay? Practice some of the drills. You want to get them familiar with going into the crate if they're not used to that now, because if there's a disaster, they're not going to want to learn that. And one of the reasons we started START is because there was a group of us that belonged to CERT program, which you've heard about earlier, and we were so concerned about our pets and there was nothing at that time to prepare for pets. So we formed the group to educate people on how to prepare for their pets. One of the things about our group is that we keep educating ourselves also. And this is one of the trainings that we have. We keep going through training sessions because in all the disasters that they've had since Katrina, they're learning more and more on what to do with your pets and how to prepare for it. Also help educate groups on how to prepare a shelter for their animals. So that's one of the other trainings that we can do if you're interested. You want to develop an evacuation plan for you and your pets. And that's one of the things Frank was mentioning. You want to work with your neighborhood. So if you're not there, then they know that they need to check your animals.
So, smoke alarms, right, test them once a month, change out the battery twice a year if you have those kinds. Make sure that you have one in every room and then also every hallway, and not too close to your kitchen because that's a big coincidence where they'll start cooking and then they'll go off and stuff. So just make sure that it works, because a lot of people assume it's gonna work. it doesn't always work. So that's the good thing about having the 10-year smoke alarm. It's with the lithium battery and you don't have to change it out. It doesn't allow you to change it out, and you can actually use it for that full 10 years. So not so many people here. It's like the emergency preparedness plan, where it's one of those things that's always on your to-do list. And I think it's actually a good idea, where she was saying before, speaker before, was, you know, chip away at these kind of things where it's like, okay, you might not be able to figure this all out in one weekend, but hey, why don't we sit together down, or maybe even during dinner, just talk it out. Hey, do we have a meeting place? Okay, and then yeah, make sure you practice. I have some handouts up front that actually is an emergency plan escape grid. So you draw your floor plan. Okay, you draw your floor plan on there, and then you run through it with your family. So then you know exactly what to do.
From my Girl Scout Gold Award project, I learned valuable leadership and organizational skills. And I also learned that you can never be too prepared for an emergency.